Good morning and welcome to session 10 of the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games Goalball competition at the Makuhari Messe. Two matches coming up. Later, an enticing match in Group B in the men's tournament, Turkey taking on the People's Republic of China. But first up, it's the match in women's Group C, Canada taking on Australia. So a clash of Commonwealth countries. Canada playing in black shorts, red socks, and a maple leaf red wrapped around their shirts. For the Australians, it's green and gold, as always. Black shorts, but a gold shirt with green writing. But this, their third match in the competition. No wins so far for Australia. Canada scoring a 6-2 victory over Israel, but defeated by the RPC in their opening competition match. And looking to climb the table with a second win in today's competition. It's match number 22 in the Goalball schedule. And a quick reminder for those who may not be entirely familiar with Goalball. It's played over 3 sections. A landing zone at each end and a neutral zone in the middle. Both these teams quite familiar with each other. Canada with that one win over Israel. Australia defeated by Israel in their matches. So the rules of Goalball: the ball has to be played underarm by a team of 3 players on court, 6 players in the squad, but only 3 on court at any one time. And the most important thing to point out, that the white lines on the court are for the television audience, because our players who are visually impaired will be feeling their way. The lines with string underneath. So take a look at Amy Burke, one of the most experienced of Canada's team at her 4th Commonwealth Games. Those white lines have a string underneath them, so the players who will have gauzes placed over their eyes and will be wearing eye shades throughout the game can feel the ground and locate themselves on the court. 2 12-minute halves, a 3-minute half time. It's fast, it's furious, and if you're not trying to throw the ball into your opposition goal, you're trying to stop them from scoring in your 9-metre wide goal mouth. Very much like a football goal or a soccer goal net. 1.3 metres high as well. There are plenty of penalties that can be called. We'll deal with those as they crop up in the game. But the players laying out, and we see Jen Nithwa below for Australia there, playing centre. Players can use any part of their body to stop the ball from going in. They lie on the ground to try and cover as much of the ground as possible to stop the ball from going in. They've got to be aware of it bouncing up in the air. They can catch it, stop it with their feet, stop it with their hands, any part of their body. There is padding. And our 2 referees for today, one standing on either side of the court, as we get the 5-minute buzzer, letting the players know they have 5 minutes before they're expected to be ready to play. So the referees mic'd up so they can tell the players what's happening on the surface, tell them what penalties have been committed and what they're expecting from them, because hand signals are no good when you're wearing eye shades. Big smiley Canadian contingent. Just seeing the back of number 5, Emma Reinke. She's had a great match tournament so far, particularly against Israel. 6-2 they beat the talented Israeli side. Reinke getting 4 of those goals. Likely to be in the starting lineup alongside Megan Mahn and Miriam Salhizadeh. We'll wait and see. So Australia, yet to score a win in this Paralympic Games competition. But they have played some brilliant defensive goalball. Just haven't found the net quite as often as they would like. The ball has to travel the length of the pitch. It needs to touch in the landing zone. So 2 of those in front of one goal, 2 of those in the other, and then the 2 centre bits, the neutral zone. If the ball doesn't touch in each of the 3 sections, a penalty will be called, and then the players have to go 1-on-1. Jennifer Blow, Mika Horsberg and Brodie Smith. The starting lineup for Australia, it looks likely, but Tian Taylor, Amy Ridley and Raisa Martin have all played so far at this Paralympic Games. They've all come on as substitutes at some point in the matches so far. Coach Peter Corr just giving the team a final chat. So the starting players have gauze over their eyes. They've been taped in place. And just before the match gets underway with a minute to play, the referees will come on and ensure that those eye shades are fitted properly. So you can see the white hair of Whitney Bogart and Amy Burke. They are sisters-in-law. They've been playing together on the Canadian team for 16 years now. They don't have the gauze over their eyes, so it suggests they won't be in the starting lineup. We expect it to be Salhizadeh, Mahn and Reinke. But that doesn't stop Bogart and Burke from passing on their wisdom. 4th Paralympic Games for both of those. They came part of the Canadian team that was 5th in Beijing, 5th in London 2020, and in Rio 5 years ago. Canada were 6th in the goalball competition. Emma Reinke, who so far is the top scorer for Canada, kind of speaking on behalf of many of these athletes, was delighted to discover goalball at the age of 14 because it was the first sport she was able to play that wasn't adapted in some way. Goalball, just played by the visually impaired. It has no equivalent at the Olympic Games. It is unique and it is exciting. The Australians getting themselves revved up. Jennifer Blow. Mika Horsberg handing her eye shade to the referee there over her yellow headscarf today. She's had a rainbow one for a couple of the games we've seen so far. Mika Horsberg looks up, looks down, gets the okay from our referee. Jennifer Blow. Golden green ribbons in the hair. Very proud Australians. There we see Megan Mahn, 25-year-old, also plays blind hockey, has been a Paralympic athlete in the past, basically likes to play anything physical, but a lot of visually impaired athletes who discover goalball stick with it simply because it's a sport designed specifically for those with visual impairments. It's theirs, they own it. So welcome to this Group C match in the women's goalball competition at the Makuhari Messe Hall in Tokyo. We're about to get underway. You'll hear plenty of information from the referees, and we'll keep you up to speed with any penalties if they are committed.
The next game is between Canada, my left, Australia, my right. Please be quiet when the ball is in play and switch off your mobile phones. Thank you. Australia will start with the ball. Quiet, please. Center.
So that ball, 1.25 kilograms, filled with bells, 2 bells, to help our visually impaired athletes hear it, locate it, and send it on its way. So, Miriam Salidazé with the ball there. Coming over to the right wing for Canada, the lineup for Australia. On the left wing, we've got Brodie Smith. In the centre, Jennifer Blow. And on the right wing, Mika Horsberg. Canada, Salidazé on the right wing. Megan Mahn in the middle, and we've got Emma Rinker over on the left wing. Canada playing on my left, Australia on my right. And you'll hear a lot of communication between these two teams. Not only about tactics, but also about where they are in front of this huge yawning goal mouth. Blocked out by Salidazé. The ball will come back to Canada. If the ball is deemed to have been deliberately put out by a team, then it will be a ball over and passed down to their opponents to take a throw. Brodie Smith on the left wing for Australia. She sends that one just curling into the gap, if there were one, between Salidazé and Megan Mahn. No gap there, though. Ball recovered. Salidazé going for a very similar gap between Blow and Smith. Tries again. Smith. Again blocked by Salidazé. Here's Emma Reinke. 5 goals so far in this Paralympic Games tournament for the number 5 from Canada. And 2 minutes played in the first half of this match. Canada 0, Australia 0. Players listening to the whistle and stopping on the whistle when instructed by the referee. No whistle, and the play continues. Each player, each team, should I say, only has 10 seconds of possession. If they hold on to the ball for longer than that, a penalty will be called, and the person who gave up the penalty will have to defend a one-on-one shot against their opponent. So, strong defence from both teams at this stage of the match. Mika Horsberg coming into the centre off that right wing. Goes straight down the centre. An easy stop for Megan Mahn. Emma Reinke puts the rotational spin on it. Keeps it pretty smooth when she puts that down. Like a discus thrower winding up to get some extra impetus. And the bounce shot, another classic in goalball. It can be very tricky if it's bouncing when it moves into that team zone area, the orientation zone, with the extra tape, extra string for players to find themselves. Strong use of the legs by Emma Reinke, who was an alternate or a reserve for Rio 2016, didn't get to go to Brazil with the team, was determined to make the squad for Tokyo. And boy, is she a great inclusion. 5 goals so far for Canada. 1 win, 1 defeat so far for these Canadian women. And just not quite getting the line right there. Reinke coming over to the right-hand side, trying to bowl it down there, but going out of play. So Brodie Smith feels the goal, works out where she is, decides where that's going. That is blocked out by Megan Mahn. So some of these players have padded leggings on. Some have knee pads and elbow pads. Some teams have padded shirts, so their elbows and bodies have the padding sewn into their shirts. All the players have gum shields in because the ball travelling at 40 kilometres an hour when it weighs 1.25 kilograms. You feel it when it hits you in the face. So no breakthrough at this point, just under 8 minutes left of this first half. Canada 0, Australia 0. Both teams working solidly in defence. Mika Horsberg on the right wing for Australia, going down the line. Emma Reinke has that nailed out. And it's handed back to her by Megan Mann. Rotational spin, up in the air, controlled by Jenny Blow. Horsberg. Just out. The ball crossing the line. Players can step out of play, get a little bit of a wind up, but the ball has to stay on the right side of the line, halfway across, at least. To score a goal, the ball has to completely cross the line. And we have 4 goal judges, 1 on each post, checking that the ball doesn't cross the line when it's being prepared to be thrown. Own goals count too, but if that ball crosses the line in its entirety, it's a goal. So we hear the Canadians encouraging each other. Emma Reinke moving into the centre, spinning, rotating, blocked by Jenny Blow. Listening intently to recover the ball. They can't see anything. Totally blacked out for this sport, listening intently for the bells in that ball. And for the noise it makes when it bounces and hits the surface. A lot of experience, hundreds of hours of training, all leading to this match in Tokyo. Hundreds of hours in the gym, working on core muscles, strength workouts, strengthening the fingers, the hands, the upper arms. And if you don't like a burpee, I suspect there's been thousands and thousands of burpees to help with the up and down nature of this sport. Players down on their knees in defence. Standing up to throw the ball and then back down again straight away in defence. Not much to choose between these two teams at the moment. We've had an even number of throws from each side. And as is often the way in goalball, the centre acting in a mostly defensive role. There are exceptions. That's a lovely shot. Just crawling along the line by Brodie Smith. Safely gathered by Sal Hesiday, though. Jennifer Blow. Strong use of the knees to keep that one away. So Mann to Reinke. Again, builds up with that big spin rotation. Good block by Jennifer Blow. Slightly forward of the position she was playing in the last match and able to trap that bouncing ball slightly earlier. Sal Hesiday comes to the centre of the court. Goes at a slight angle, but Brodie Smith's got that one covered. McMahon fractionally forward of that orientation line, as is Jennifer Blow. And that's working so much better for the Australians than it was in their last match. Peter Kaur calling timeout, the Australian coach. Bit of hydration, a chance to towel down a bit, but the players, I'll remind you, are not allowed to touch those eye shades at all. They pick up a penalty if they do, and if they do it repeatedly, they can be ejected from the game. So a little bit of movement by the subs in the technical area, but no substitutions at this point for either team. Brodie Smith gets play back underway. Megan Mahon recovers that comfortably. 4 minutes to play in the first half. Canada 0, Australia 0. Vika Horsberg taking the ball from Brodie Smith over to the right wing. Just looking for any hint of a gap, but Megan Mahon also slightly further forward. Now that ball deemed to have been put out by by Canada rather than blocked out. So it goes back to the Australians. Vika Horsberg goes again. Megan Mahon blocks again. Salazar. Jennifer Blow's positioning on the court working much better than it did in the match against China. Going down 6-0 to China in their second match of the tournament. Learning all the time, the Aussie Bells. Okay, Brodie Smith. Going from left to right. Forcing a Superman-style dive from Emma Reinke. And she'll send it back up the other way, going towards the centre, but that's blocked out with the hands of Jennifer Blow. She's pleased with that. Brodie Smith going for that same angle again. Emma Reinke ready for that. Salazar on that left wing, right wing. So Australia choosing to throw the ball out there. Wasn't quite sure of how much time she would have to reset for the throw. So if a 10-second penalty is called, then it's a one-on-one penalty. If you block it out, it just turns the ball over to your opponent. So still 3 of you on court to face the next shot. Clever play. That's a lovely trap with the feet by Megan Mahon. Talented toes. Yeah. Jennifer Blow looking very comfortable in the centre of defence for Australia at the moment. And much could be seen at the other end as well. It's such a strong defensive game. No sign of a goal so far. Less than 2 minutes to play in the first half. Canada 0, Australia 0. Someone needs to shake this up a bit, try something a little bit different, because they both have each other's cards red as Canada call a timeout. Trent Fairbrother, the Canadian coach, towering over the players. As the on-court players rehydrate, Amy Burke standing there in support, the captain, 31 years old, 4th Paralympic Games. She knows what it's like to be on the court. She also knows what it's like to be in a position like this. 1 minute 41 left on the clock of this first half. Canada have possession. It's Canada 0, Australia 0. Salizadeh and Marn discussing. Salizadeh tries to get the bounce on it, but that's easily stopped by blow. Marn talking to Reinke, decides to have a throw herself. Salizadeh. It's the wingers that attack, generally in goalball. Some teams you have 3 shooters effectively, but there's more opportunity for angled shots out on the wings. Try to sneak it past the centre, as well as one of those wingers. But all these players showing excellent footwork on the layouts. Knees and feet. Really defending strongly. Mika Horsberg just slightly on the wonk. That one goes out of play in the landing zone of Canada. Emma Reinke gets Megan Marn to move out the way. She has a little go down the centre just in case. But Jennifer Blow is wide awake and ready for that. That's a bouncer from the Australians, and the Aussie Bells are ahead. Mika Horsberg with a great bouncing play. A lot of energy going high into that ball and over Megan Marn into the back, off the net. 26 seconds left of this first half. Canada 0, Australia 1. Reinke looking to level things up before the end of this first half. Brodie Smith has position for Australia. She puts some bounce on that as well. Marn, with possibly what could be the last throw for Canada of this half. Jennifer Blow recovers. Australia may get one more chance, but probably not. As the hooter goes, and they go into the break ahead. That was a well-timed effort by Mika Horsberg. A lovely bouncing shot just going over Megan Marn of Canada to give Australia the half-time lead. Just the one goal in the first 12 minutes of this match. At half-time, Canada 0, Australia 1. So the clock counting down the 3 minutes of half-time. Usually the teams would change ends, but not in these pandemic times. So the first half about the defence of both teams. And just the one breakthrough. Despite some great shooting. A strong defence from both sides. That one shot bouncing over Megan Marn, giving Australia the half-time lead. Jubilation in the technical zone. Evenly matched on throws. A little few more blocks from the Australians. And both the teams that turning over the ball once. We'll keep an eye for some possible substitutions as the teams go through the eye shade check once again. No changes for Canada. Number 5, Emma Reinke. Number 4, Megan Marn in the centre. And Miriam Salizadeh in number 1, the 34-year-old born in Iran. refugee now playing for Canada. For Australia, Brodie Smith, all checked. Mika Horsburgh gets her eye shades from the referee. Jennifer Blow standing strong in the centre, in the green and gold for Australia. The Aussie Bells are one up. And we have a small audience in the Makuhari Messe Hall. A small number of Japanese school children being allowed to come and enjoy the Paralympic Games. The pandemic preventing spectators who would have bought tickets from turning up, but the school children of Tokyo are getting a first-rate seat to see a first-rate sport. We're ready to go in the second half. Let's hear from one of our match referees.
This is the second half of the game between Canada on my left and Australia on my right. Half-time score, Canada 0, Australia 1. Canada will start with the ball. Quiet, please. Centre.
So the Australians will be happy with that. The nickname, the Aussie Bells, Emma Reinke. And we haven't heard much talking from the teams in terms of distraction. Players are allowed to make noises to disguise what their teammate is doing. That's before the throw leaves the hand. Once the ball is in play, they need to be silent to allow the opposition to hear it. And certain teams have certain trademarks. They'll be patting the floor, whistling, singing, chatting, just trying to do anything to disguise which way the ball might be coming. And the teams do try to shake it up a bit. You know, different speeds of balls make different sounds. A slow ball, a slow, smooth ball. Slightly harder to hear because the ball is making, and that's a turnover, so that's ball over. Jennifer Blow not able to recover that one before it crossed the halfway line. Goes back over to Canada. They get another shot. Emma Reinke. Well done, Mika Horsburgh. Just deflecting off Jennifer Blow. But Horsburgh able to recover it. For those who can. You might notice the black dots on the ball. That's the holes that have been drilled in it to allow us to see those, to hear those bells. And for those who can't see, it's a blue hard rubber ball. Much like a basketball, slightly bigger and much heavier, 1.25 kilograms. Underarm throwing only in goalball, deflected there by Megan Mahon. 75 years of goalball being celebrated at the Tokyo Paralympic Games. Brodie Smith goes across court, but Reinke's ready for that. She's ready for the ball to come back as well, to get played down. And most of the players on court today only discovered the sport in their teens. Some having been visually impaired for much of their life, frustrated that they didn't know about it earlier, and hopefully coverage at the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games will allow younger players to discover the sport in their country and get involved. The goalball community is waiting to meet you and throw a ball at you. So Brodie Smith. Megan Mahon, here's that one coming. Locating the ball by the sound only. There's a bit of a skippy ball. Skipping along the surface of the court like a stone across water. Emma Reinke letting her centre know where she is. That's a great block by Jennifer Blow.
Quiet, please. Play.
So no penalties given so far in this match, and they can rack up in a goalball match.
Left out. Quiet, please. Play.
3 minutes 15 played of this second half. It's Canada 0, Australia 1. Mika Horsberg with the only goal of the game just before half-time. As Canada level up, jubilant celebration from Whitney Bogart and Amy Burke in the technical zone. Miriam Salezadeh adds to her goal tally. Lined it up, bounced it up, and just managed to find a gap, which had appeared between Brodie Smith and Jennifer Blow. So the 34-year-old, born in Iran, became a refugee to Canada in 2016, where she has played her way into the national squad. That's 3 goals at the Paralympic Games for Salezadeh so far. So 45 seconds for a timeout. Quick breather for the players. Chance to rehydrate. And a quick pep talk from the coach. Peter Corr there for Australia. Anxiously watching on there, Whitney Bogart and Brianne Baldock of Canada. Not gauzed up, so they won't be coming onto court at any point soon. Haven't been patched, as it's called. Underway. 8 minutes 20. Canada 1, Australia 1. Brodie Smith hands the ball to teammate Mika Horsberg. She's looking for her second of the game. But Megan Mahn's strong legs are in the way to block that. She has a go. Blocked by the legs of Brodie Smith. That's a lovely outstretched block by Emma Reinke. She gets some bounce on that. Oh, that's a good stop by Jennifer Blow. It hits her hip, but her arm comes down and traps it in place. Oh, smooth, skiddy shot from Horsberg. I've seen a nice variety of efforts here now. Something different every throw. Horsberg. Stopped by Sahal Izadeh. Now Brodie Smith bats that one back to Jennifer Blow. Horsberg on the right wing. Rotates, spins, tries to get some heat on it. Just a slightly different pace down the court. But Canada listening intently, able to track its path.
Number 5.
So we have a long ball from Emma Reinke. That means that she has thrown it over the first line. It's hit the neutral zone first rather than her own landing zone. She's going to have to defend a penalty. She will go head to head with Mika Horsberg, who's moved over to the left wing. And although Reinke had her legs outstretched, it's another goal for Mika Horsberg. She restores Australia's lead. Just under 7 minutes to play. Canada 1, Australia 2. So, Salezadeh, what can she do? Jennifer Blow recovering the ball. Back to Brodie Smith. Sends that one on its way. Arms outstretched, recovered by Megan Mahn. That was a spin from Emma Reinke. And a great block again from Jennifer Blow. Shakes it off. Bit of a stinger on the hand, that one. Salazadeh. Hair in a ponytail. Reaching back. Gets it past Jennifer Blow, but Brodie Smith's right behind. That's another bouncing effort from Horsberg. Just runs out of height by the time it got to Mahn. Smooth shot from Reinke. Brodie Smith now. Goes across court, and that is batted out by Reinke. Salazadeh comes over to the left wing. Tries to fool the opponents into thinking it's coming from the left. Moves to the right. So, we have another timeout. You see the mops coming on court. That's to take care of any moisture that may have accrued. The playing surface needs to be hazard-free. For our visually impaired athletes, they can't see if there's a patch of water or a trip hazard. The referees keep an eye on that. They'll stop play if a shoelace has come undone. Trent Fairbrother. Nice and calm. No need to panic for Canada. They've scored once, they can score again. But Mika Horsberg, both goals for Australia so far. Spins and gets the ball going. Reinke goes right to left. It's blocked by Blow. Horsberg. So Megan Mahn just moves out to this right wing for Canada. See if she can find the gap, but Brodie Smith is wise to it, gets it with her fingertips. And Horsberg. Oh! And we have to see whether the referee, the goal judge, is going to give that. It has been given. At this point, it was a great shot again by Mika Horsberg. She got the bounce on it, got plenty of height, and it came up off the hip of Emma Reinke and crossed the line, given on the far side by the goal judge. The ball has to cross the line in its entirety, not part of the ball, not half of the ball. The whole ball has to cross the line for it to be a goal. And that's number 3 for Mika Horsberg. Just over 5 minutes to play. Canada 1, Australia 3. In the third match for these teams in this round-robin event. 5 teams in this group C. 4 matches for each. And the team at the bottom of the group will be eliminated before the knockout stages. Emma Reinke gathers that one. She goes for a smooth shot. Jennifer Blow has that, though. Brodie Smith. Safely defended by Miriam Salazadeh. Sends it back to Brodie Smith, who gathers it in. The entire Canadian bench standing up to watch. They can't sit down. A little more relaxed on the Australian bench in that technical zone. So Mika Horsberg just not quite working out where that half sideline is. There's a couple of times she's just managed to step out before playing the ball. Players use their feet to find the lines as well. The white tape there for the TV audience, as far as the players are concerned, is what the lines feel like with that string underneath to locate their position. Emma Reinke spins, twists, blocked out by Jennifer Blow, and then it rolls along the body of Brodie Smith and off her toes and out of play. Horsberg. That one's safely in. Trapped by the toes of Megan Mahn. Salazade takes it back over to the right wing. Blocked by Blow. Brodie Smith. Gets past Mahn, but not Emma Reinke. There you go. Jennifer Blow has had a great game in the centre position for Australia. And Mika Horsberg will be delighted to have added 3 goals to her tally. So Whitney Bogart has one eye patched up. Perhaps ready to come on as a late substitution, but there's going to be no change to the Australian team in this timeout. Listening intently to what Peter Core has to say. Looking very relaxed with his hands in his pocket. And they resume their position. Smith on the left wing, Blow in the centre, Horsberg on the right. Canada have the ball. Salazade, 1 goal in this game. 16 blocks, 31 throws. That's a good block there by Reinke, and nicely gathered by Megan Mahn as it threatened to roll away. Reinke with the majority of the throws so far for Canada, 42 out of the 86 that have been sent down from left to right. And she takes up the position in the centre, rotates, spins, but goes wide. Hands down, feeling the line. Orientating herself. Smith, cross court. Feet blocked out by Megan Mahn. So that's ball over, just crossing over the halfway line. So the ball goes to the Australians. 2 minutes 20 to play in this match. This Group C round robin contest. Canada 1, Australia 3. Playing surface being made safe. Hot, sweaty, itchy eye shades mustn't be touched. The Australians have a beautiful yellow and blue pattern with green matching on their eye shades, matching their shirts at the bottom. Gold shirts with green lettering and a spiralling print of dots. Equipment check, I think, for Emma Reinke, but not given, so she plays on. So, yeah, Emma Reinke putting her hand in the air so that the officials can check her eye shade. There you go, she can take it off. I think she felt that one, they were sliding down her face. So the eye shades they're using in Tokyo are new for this tournament. Batman-like, with a nose guard on top. Bird-like, one might say. A little bit like a beak. Reinke down the centre. Blocked out by Jenny Blow. So Australia call the timeout. And the court gets mopped down once again. Every little bit of perspiration and sweat being sent off the playing surface. Now, it may not look like much time. 1 minute 49 on the clock in this second half. Canada 1, Australia 3, but things can turn around very fast. Australia blocking well. 10 more blocks over their Commonwealth cousins. Australia will get play back underway on the right-hand side of the court.
Quiet, please. Play.
Marn to Salhizadeh, who's coming up the centre, slightly to the left. Mika Horsberg, 3 goals to her name.
Quiet, please. Play.
Builds up for a big delivery here. Oh, and she beats Megan Marn to make it 4. What a great day she's having. She's glad she got out of bed early this morning. Mika Horsberg makes it 4 for Australia, really putting some strength into that ball. And it bounced just as Megan Marn was trying to get her fingertips on it. 1 minute, 34 seconds left of this match. Canada 1, Australia 4. Horsberg back in the defensive role.
Quiet, please. Play.
All going well for her. She can take the rest of the day off. Miriam Salazadeh tries to get another one back on the board for Canada, but Brodie Smith's blocking her out. Scudding that one along. So, Canada, what can they do? 1 minute, 7 seconds. Will we see a substitution? No worries for Australia. They'll stick with their starting lineup to the end by the look of it. Horsberg, Blow and Smith done a sterling job, strong defensively, which has enabled them to launch a platform for attack. And Horsberg with 4 goals to her name in the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games. The bounce is louder than the bells, but it's the bells that help them find the ball. Emma Rinke. Reinke. Emma Reinke with the ball. Oh, and that is over Jennifer Blow. Up in the air and into the corner of the net on the left-hand side for Australia. 1 back from Canada. Are we about to see a remarkable comeback? 2 bounces and then on the hip of Jennifer Blow over Brodie Smith into the back of the net. Reinke gets her name on the score sheet. Scored 4 against Israel. Could be beaten by the clock today, though. 37 seconds left. Blow gives it to Horsberg. There's a bit of tension on the Australian bench there. Still 2 goals clear. 23 seconds to play. Canada 2, Australia 4. Amy Burke coming on to give the pep talk. It can be done. 2 goals can be scored in 23 seconds in Goalball. But will they? The Australians been so strong in defence, trying to stay sharp. Brianne Baldock with the drink, serving as water carrier for her teammates. A couple of words of encouragement. Canada are down by 2 with 23 seconds to play. That is... now. So, they've given away a penalty. We suspect that is because the team were not back in the technical zone in time. When the timeout's over, all players that are playing need to be on the playing surface. And they have the option, when it's a team penalty, of choosing who they're going to defend against. So Australia have chosen Emma Reinke. So it's Horsberg versus Reinke. The big scorers for both teams. Horsberg. And has it saved by Reinke, to the delight of the Canadian players. She chose to go from the right to the centre, and Reinke was nicely positioned to deny her Australian counterpart. And she now challenges her with a ball blocked by Horsberg. Using the knees into the final 10 seconds of the match now. So Canada have 6 seconds left. So Miriam Salizadeh comes out. Australia are protesting that they didn't have control of the ball when they called a timeout for the substitution. So Whitney Bogart makes her first start in the Paralympic Games 2020. This is her 4th Paralympic Games. Played in Beijing, London, Rio. Tokyo gets added to the roster of games she's started. But it's Emma Reinke with the shots. And the goal! Oh, she pulls that back right at the end of play. We've got 0.8 of a second on the timer. So Australia will have time to restart the match. But Canada pull a goal back in the dying seconds through Emma Reinke. Canada 3, Australia 4. And that is game. Australia holding on to take the victory despite the last gasp efforts of Emma Reinke at the end. She adds to her goal tally, but it's another defeat for Canada as Australia score their first victory of this Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games competition. Delight for the Aussie Bells. Canada 3, Australia 2, 4. And a great crowd as well. School children from Tokyo allowed in to watch goalball, for whom, well, many will not have seen goalball before. It's not an Olympic sport. It's just a sport for the visually impaired. It's theirs. There's no adaptations. Canada applauding Australia, who win their first match at the Paralympic Games in Tokyo 2020. Well done, Aussie Bells. And well done, Mika Horsberg. Nailing all 4 goals. Over on that right wing. Been studying a master's in mental health. She's been to some dark places in her life and has come back strong. 4 goals for her country, giving the win over Canada, who will go away and prepare for their final match in this round-robin competition. So Canada on the scoreboard, Miriam Salizadeh and Emma Reinke with the goals for them. All 4 of Australia's goals coming from the hand of Mika Horsberg. Even Stevens with the throws. But look at the blocks by Australia. 8 blocks by the Australians. 1 penalty scored, 1 penalty denied. Saved by Emma Reinke right at the end there. Job well done by the Australians. So the standings in Group C. Australia and Canada, 1 victory apiece. 3 games played. 4 places for the knockout stages available. It's all to do in their final matches in Group C. RPC against Israel play later on day 4 in Tokyo. The Aussie Belles taking a bow after an excellent victory over Canada, getting a little nervous towards the end of that match, but a strong defensive performance, and they seemed a lot more confident than in their previous matches. Canada will go away. Both of these teams need to win to stay in this Paralympic competition in their final match of the tournament. But it's the Aussie Belles who are ringing true. They beat Canada for 4 goals to 3.
大画面に映し出されたところはですね、ソメイティと一緒に踊っていただきましょう。よろしいでしょうか。はい、今ですね、ソメイティがターゲットを探しています。誰になるでしょうか。はい、あなたに決まりました。3、2、1で踊ってください。レディー、3、2、1、ダンスタイム、ゴー。 Yes, you, come on. Show us how you move. Wonderful. じゃあ次のターゲットを探しておりますよ。ソメイティが誰にするのかね。はい。Are you ready? It's you. はい、どうぞ。3、2、1で踊ってください。Ready? 3、2、1。Dance time. どうぞ。はい、動いて動いて動いて。じっとしないで動いてくださいね。はい。Whoa. Very cool. Ready? Yay, baby. That's good. はい、じゃあ次のターゲットを探しておりますよ。Who's it gonna be? Who's the next one? It's you! はい、そうですね、先生。どうぞ先生を持ってくださいね。3、2、1、先生。いなくなっちゃいましたね。残念ですね。先生逃げないでくださいね。はい。どうぞ It's you. Moving. はい、じゃあ次の方、誰になるでしょうかね。はい、ソメイティが探しています。一緒に踊ってくれる人があなたですよ。はい、じーっとしないで。3、2、1、ダンスタイム。ゴーボールダンス。すごい。素晴らしい。Moving. That's really good. Don't be shy. That was dance time. 皆様またやるかもしれませんので、スピーチの動画を体験しておいてくださいね。はい。Thank you very much. 試合開始までまたしばらくお待ちください。
I love you so. Hey, that's what you say. You tell me, baby, please don't go away. But when I play, I never stay. So every girl that I meet, yeah, this is what I say. Run away, baby. Before I put my spell on you. You better get away, darling. 'Cause everything you heard is true. Your poor little heart will end up alone. 'Cause Lord knows I'm a rolling stone. So you better run away, baby. Yeah. Well, let me think. What should I do? So many eager young bunnies that I'd like to pursue. Now even though they're eating out the palm of my hand, there's only one carrot and they all gotta share it. I love you so. Hey, that's what you say. You tell me, baby, please don't go away. But when I play, I never stay. So every girl that I meet, yeah, this is what I say. Run away, baby. Before I put my spell on you. You better get away, darling. 'Cause everything you heard is true. Your poor little heart will end up alone. 'Cause Lord knows I'm a rolling stone. So you better run away, baby. See, I ain't tryna hurt you, baby. No, I just wanna work you, baby. Yo, see, I ain't tryna hurt you, baby. No, I just wanna work you, baby. If you scared, you better run. You better run. You better run. You better run away, baby. Before I put my spell on you. You better get away, darling. 'Cause everything you heard is true. Your poor little heart will end up alone. 'Cause Lord knows I'm a rolling stone. So you better run away, baby.
I won't lie to you. I know he's just not right for you. And you could tell me if I'm off, but I see it on your face when you say that he's the one that you want. And you're spending all your time in this wrong situation, and anytime you want it to stop. I know I can treat you better than he can, and any girl like you deserves a gentleman. Tell me why are we wasting time on all your wasted crime when you should be with me instead? I know second you say you'd like me too. I just wanna give you the loving that you're missing, baby. Just to wake up with you will be everything I need, and this could be so different. Tell me what you want to do, 'cause I know I can treat you better than he can, and any girl like you deserves a gentleman. Tell me, why are we wasting time on all your wasted crown when you should be with me instead? I know I can treat you better than he can.
子予選グループ B トルコと中華人民共和国の選手の皆さんをお迎えください。選抜メンバーはトルコ代表続きましては中華人民共和国代表1番来亮武2番蔡昌管3番杨明渊4番钱连亮5番傅明耀6番于清坤殷庆璇罗根张巧恩
Hello and welcome to the Makahari Mesa Arena for day 4 of this men's goalball competition, starting with this all-important encounter in Group B. London 2012 bronze medalist Turkey take on gold medalist from Beijing, China. You can see Turkey haven't quite had the start they might have wanted, with 2 narrow losses, whereas China now have a win under their belts after beating Ukraine on day 3. But we're only halfway through this men's competition, and there's still all to play for. And a win today would give either side a strong chance of qualifying for the knockout stages. It's Turkey against China, and while the players warm up and the officials go through their checks, I just want to tell you a bit more about the dynamic sport of goalball. So goalball's a sport that's been uniquely designed for the visually impaired, just like bocce. There's no Olympic equivalent. The ball, which is the blue ball which you're seeing thrown around court there, it's about the size of a basketball, and it's got bells inside. And the aim is to score as many goals as you can while also defending your own net. And the net runs all the way across the court. The lines are tactile, so players can feel their way around the court. And even though we have some spectators today in the form of some local school children, there has to be total silence when the ball's in play. As we look at China's 3 players on the court, even though each country has a squad of 6 players, there's usually only 3 on court at any one time. Normally a centre player, traditionally a defensive titan, with the wings on the outside, who usually pose the offensive threat. Speaking of which, there's Aydogdu, Turkey. It's very potent on the wing. Each match has 2 12-minute halves, and there's a 3-minute interval at half-time. And you win the game either by scoring more goals than your opponent in normal time, or the game stops if one side gets 10 goals ahead. See there from Karakai the rotation throw, one of many throws in the armory of these players. We'll be seeing slower balls, faster balls, spinning balls, bouncing balls. Shot selection is critical. And these players are very versatile and really able to try and catch their opponents by surprise. You can see there the start of what's called the patching process. This is where eye shades are applied and supervised. So they're watchful eye of an official there. It means that these players, who may have different levels of visual impairment, means they can compete with a level playing field. And it makes sure that the competition is a fair one. Players aren't allowed to touch their eye shades. If their eye shades get dislodged or they need some adjustment, they have to call an official on court to make sure the eye shades remain properly in place at all times. Well, the court's divided into 3 areas. Each team has their own landing zone, and then there's a neutral zone in the middle of the court. To be a valid shot, your ball has to bounce both your own area and also the neutral zone. If it doesn't, you'll see an infringement called. So listen out for the calls of either high ball or long ball. These make up the vast majority of penalties in the game of goalball. there are today's officials from Japan and Ukraine. They have a microphone, which means their decisions are audible not just to the spectators, but also to the players. Helps them understand with the eye shades on. That's what's taking place on court. Well, let's take a look at the China team. China aiming for their first Paralympic medal on foreign soil after they won gold at Beijing 2008. Number 3, real star player Mingyuan Yang. Although he was still a teenager, competed at the Paralympics in Rio, and he was very impressive there indeed. Coach Yin Shiqiang, one of the most successful coaches on the international circuit. Coached China to gold in 2017 and 2019 at the Asia Pacific Championships. Now let's take a look at Turkey, ranked 9th in the world. One to watch there, Tanchai Karakaya. Scored 3 out of Turkey's 4 goals against Belgium. Real attacking threat. We're just minutes away from the start of play here in this Group B match between Turkey and China. There's China's starting 3. Chai Changwei, Yang Mingyuan, Hu Xinxuan. Three players on court at any one time, 1 centre and 2 wings. Here's the Turkey starting 3, Hussein Alkan. Kara, number 3. That man Karakaya, who provides so many goals from the wing. Xingwen in his 2nd Paralympics. Hussein Alkan, he's one to watch. He makes a lot of noise on court. Creates quite an entertaining soundtrack.
This game is between China on my left, Turkey on my right. I would like to remind everyone to switch off your mobile phone and keep quiet while the ball is in play. Thank you. China starts with the ball. Quiet, please. Center. Play.
Turkey against China in Group B. It's Sai Changwei to get us underway, blocked by Kara. Gets his bearings there on the post. Starts off court. Perfectly legal in goalball, as long as the ball lands on the court, which it did there. It's across court. It's again blocked by Kara.
Quiet, please. Play.
Karakaya. Cross court. Block from Changwei. Is Mingyuan on the other wing.
Out. Quiet, please. Play.
Karakaya. Blocked and gathered by Mingyuan. By the legs of Alkan and out to Duzgun. Sorry, to Kara. Here's Mingyuan. Mingyuan, top scorer at the recent Asia Pacific Championships. He really is a very well-regarded young goalball talent. Long career ahead of him. It's Chang Wai. Just goes wide of Karakaya's post. Okeji opening exchanges here. Karakaya blocked by the legs. Chang Wai. Here's Mingyuan. Alkan. Kara. Just wide.
Wide, please. Play.
Mingyuan with the rotation throw. You'll see players spinning themselves to try and get a bit of bounce and a bit of spin on the ball. An interesting tactic there from Turkey. Was Karakaya throwing the ball, one of his teammates just dummying to try and confuse the opposition. It's Chang Wai. Blocked by Karakaya.
Wide, please. Play.
Rotation throw, cross court, and
Block out.
blocked by Mingyuan. Mingyuan starts from centre position. Here's Alkan. Kara. Gathered by Xingwen, the China centre. Penalty's been called, and Turkey have an early opportunity here, much to the delight of Hussein Alkan. It's called as a long ball. So the ball just bounced the wrong side of that line where the referee is positioned. And now Shea Shangui will have to defend the penalty that he infringed to create. And it's wide. Tunchai Karakaya just started off court, which is a tactic he often uses, but the ball just wasn't positioned in the way he wanted and goes harmlessly wide. So trying to have a reprieve.
Wide, please. Play.
It's Kara. Mingyuan blocked by Alkan.
Wide, please. Play.
Karakaya. Rotation throw.
Block out.
Comfortably blocked by Kara.
Wide, please. Play.
You can see Xingwen just feeling his way using those textured lines on the court. Interesting the ways players use to navigate themselves. Slightly slower ball there, blocked by the legs of Alkan. You see players using the goal, using the lines, using their teammates sometimes. It's Mingyuan cross court, blocked by the legs of Karakaya. It's a rapid return from Alkan. Got 10 seconds to get the shot away. Once the ball's in your team's area of the court. That's Karakaya. Or can he rescue it? He does. If the ball went over that halfway line, it would have been called as ball over. It would have gone into Turkish possession. Kara with the throw. Blocked by Xingwen. It's Mingyuan. Kara. And once again, Xingwen gathers just before the ball goes over. Good work from the centre. Kara. Karakaya. Rotation throw. Held together between Ming Yuan and Xing Wen, they keep it out. Here's Karakaya. Blocked by Ming Yuan. It's underarm. It's just wide. Well, Turkey calling a timeout. It's been an interesting start to this first half. No goals on the scoreboard as yet. But a real missed opportunity from that penalty, Turkey. It's clearly going to be an evenly matched affair. Number 3 against number 9 in the world. With the game so finely balanced and so deadlocked, might be expecting to see some substitutions at some point in this first half. Both sides have 3 on the bench. Karakaya. Block from Xing Wen. It's Ming Yuan. Alkan. Here's Karakaya. Rotation throw. Lots of bounce on that one, but blocked out by Ming Yuan. Ming Yuan.
Quiet, please. Play.
Here's Kara. It's blocked by Xing Wen. Here's Ming Yuan. Alkan with the block. Well, halfway through the first half, it's still very deadlocked affair. Both sides capable of scoring goals. We've seen that throughout the tournament, but they're just cancelling each other out at the moment. Here's Kara. Ming Yuan. Alkan to Karakaya. That's the block by Ming Yuan. That's well blocked again by Alkan. He really is very strong in the centre of court. He's a real leader as well. You really hear him marshalling his Turkish teammates. There's a bit of noise there from Chang Wei just to try and distract Turkey. Here's Ming Yuan. Got by Alkan.
Quiet, please. Play.
Karakaya. Here's Chang Wei. Here's Kara, just steadies himself on the post. Lots of force on that one, but well blocked. Here's Ming Yuan. The rotation throw. Blocked by the legs of Alkan. Here's Karakaya. Chang Wei. By Alkan. We've seen he's capable of going from defence to attack very quickly. Here's Chang Wei. Kara. Rotation throw, blocked. And gathered by Chang Wei. Ming Yuan. Blocked out by Kara.
Quiet, please. Play.
Karakaya. And slightly slower ball there from Xingwen. Kara blocked by Mingyuan. Made his debut at the age of just 16 in 2010. Official timeout being called. Usually this means eye shades have been dislodged, or perhaps sometimes a wet floor. It looks like the issue is Xingwen and his eye shades. They throw themselves around the court with such energy that sometimes eye shades can get dislodged. And the officials need to supervise them being put on again. Also using the opportunity to give the court a clean. Can get a bit slippy with all the hands that clamber around the court.
Quiet, please. Play.
Getting us back underway, it's Kara. It's Mingyuan to return. Blocked by the legs of Kara. Alkan to return. Blocked by Duzgun. Here's Mingyuan, top scorer at the Asian Pacific Championships, but hasn't quite found his scoring form today.
Play.
Karakaya. Here's Shanghai. Kara. Number 3 to number 3, it's Mingyuan. Blocked. It does show the quality of Group B. We've had some really close encounters. Not least Turkey's previous 2 games, both of which very narrow defeats. Blocked. From Kara. That's blocked and rescued by Xingwen. Could have easily bobbled the other way and gone into the net. Once again held by Kara, who's been excellent in defence on that near side. Here's Mingyuan. Block from Alkan. Karakaya. It's wide.
Quiet, please. Play.
Shanghai. Block from Karakaya. Between 2 Chinese players, it's blocked out.
Quiet, please. Play.
Block from Alkan, making a lot of noise there. He's quite famous for his chatter throughout the game. Perfectly legitimate tactic in goalball. Allowed to use noise to distract the opponents up until the point at which your teammate starts the throwing action. Here's Mingyuan. By Karakaya.
play.
Gel oğlum, bravo bebeğimsin adamın dibi.
Here's Ming Yuan. Just a minute left. One side get on the score sheet and go into the interval with an advantage. Here's Karakaya. It's well blocked. It's Cheng Wai. Here's Kara. And it's a goal just before the interval. Turkey have the first goal of this match. And it's Ibakir Kara. Finally, the Chinese defensive line is breached. A timeout's been called. And having been a very evenly matched game all throughout this first half, Turkey now have the lead. It really is such a physical sport, goalball. No cushioning on the floor, and so really is physically taxing, throwing yourselves around, and lots of bumps and bruises.
Thank you, referee.
Well, another equipment check called. Looks like the tape that the players used to feel their way around the court looks like it's just become dislodged. Sometimes with the ball hitting it and with the players using it to move around, it can just come up off court, and so just needs replacing. Really is a global competition. Traditionally, the first few decades of goalball was very much centered in Europe, but since the new millennium, it's really spread globally, and we're seeing some brilliant elite athletes from all across the world here.
White, please. Play.
And China have the goal. Turkey appealed for the long ball, but it's not given. And it's Yang Ming Wan, such a prolific goal scorer. And now China back on level terms with just 15 seconds of this first half remaining. Oh, well, it could be an own goal, but no, it's just gathered. Well, we've already had one goal in this tournament, courtesy of Brazil's Jose Marcio Souza. But China just able to gather the ball before they put it in their own net. China took the time out there, so there's just 10.6 seconds on the game clock. China have 10 seconds in which to use the ball, so they can take the shot and then give Turkey minimal time to respond, if that's what they decide to do. But let's see what Yang Ming Wan has up its sleeve.
Quiet, please. Play.
Rotation throw from Ming Wan, blocked by Alkan. And Turkey get the shot away before the buzzer. They do. It's out. And China now have a chance to respond. It's Yang Ming Wan. Blocks out again, and that's the end of this first half. Well, it's been a tight, close affair. And we end this first half just Same position as we started it. Both sides level. Some brilliant offensive players on court, but they just can't quite get through the strong defensive lines. And a really intriguing second half ahead. Well, half-time here in Group B. And the score is Turkey 1, China 1. Let's take a look at the story of that first half. 1 goal apiece. And it's been, see from the throws and the blocks. Numbers are even in almost every respect. Plenty of this match ahead. That first half flew by. One of the best things about goalball is the ball really is in play almost all the time. It's end to end, it's fast, it's frantic, and both sides trading shots. That first half went by in no time at all. As both sides go through the pre-match eye shades checks. Sorry, pre-second half eye shades checks. Checked at the beginning of the match, after half-time, and regularly throughout the match as well if there's an official timeout. Yang Mingwan, one of China's hottest goalball talent.
Between China on my left, Turkey on my right. Halftime score is China 1, Turkey 1. China, Turkey starts with the ball. Wide, please. Center.
Well, the second half gets underway.
Play.
The 3 whistles from the referee signifies the start of the game. Start the second half. And here's Yang Minwan. Got by Alkan. Here's Kara. Here's Mingyuan. Here's Alkan. Here's Karakaya. Both sides unchanged after the half-time interval. Sometimes in goalball you see changes made for the second half, but not on this occasion. Here's Alkan to Kara. Kara blocked. Here's Mingyuan. Rotation throw, put by the legs of Alkan. Here's Karakaya. And the China defensive line strong once again.
Quiet, please. Play.
Yang Mingyuan.
Out.
Just wide of Karakaya's post. And we have an official timeout. Just to check the eye shades. Make sure everything's as it should be. A bit of music from Hussein Alkan. Not for the first time on court. He really is a live wire. Always talking, singing.
Play.
Well, Freddie Mercury will be proud of that one, but perfectly legal in goalball as long as its teammate isn't in the act of throwing the ball. Shows just the awareness these players have of what their teammates are doing, even though they can't see it. It's really impressive watching the way they navigate and work together and feel their way around the court.
Look out. White, please. Play.
Yang Mingwan. Got by Kara. Out to Yang Mingwan.
Look out.
Blocked out by Hussein Alkan.
Quiet, please. Play.
Here's Karakaya. Here's Chai Shangwai. Put by the legs of Alkan. Here's Kara.
Look out.
Yang Mingwan with the block.
White, please. Play.
Strong leg from Kara to send the ball wide of his teammate Karakaya's post. And this match still very finely balanced. Some very strong defensive play. We watch Changwei, and the deadlock is broken. And in a match of few goals so far, Chai Changwei knows exactly how important that one is. It's a valiant effort from Karakaya, but just couldn't keep it out, and now China have the lead. Karakaya. Yang Mingyuan. Rotation throughout, put by the legs of Hussein Alkan.
White, please. Play.
Here's Changwei. Put by Alkan. Here's Karakaya. It's gathered by Xing Wen. Here's Ming Yuan. Here's Alkan. Ball finds its way to Yang Mingwan. But by Kara. And Kara back to Mingwan.
White, please. Play.
Here's Yang Mingwan. Slower, bouncier ball. Xing Wen gathers and well, slow ball out of play. So what happened there? China have 10 seconds to get the shot away, and they didn't want to risk giving away a penalty, especially with the scoreline so close. So they just handed over possession. Chai Changwei. Chai Changwei. Out to Yang Mingwan. It's a bit of the skippy bounce, as it's known. Slightly bouncier delivery. Here's Yu Xingwen to Yang Mingwan. It's been called as a penalty, and Turkey have the chance to get level once again. Well, that was called as a long ball. So the ball just bounced the wrong side of the line. Remember, the ball has to bounce in both your own area of the court and the neutral area. And you can see on the replay here, it's just called as long. So Turkey will have the chance one-on-one and make it 2 apiece.
15 seconds.
White, please. Play.
It's going to be Kara, the dummy from Karakaya. And Kara makes it 2-all. Clever play from Turkey. Karakaya just dummied the ball from the other wing, distracting the opposition, and Kara was able to put it in the corner of the net.
Time out.
Now China calling the timeout. Chance for them to regroup. Ebekir Kara scored both of Turkey's goals today in his first Paralympics. Turkey, the bronze medal in London 2012, and there's been a huge surge of uptake and interest since then. It's really been a positive development for Turkish goalball. They've acquitted themselves very well today. So we've got Yang Ming-wan. Blocked by Kara.
Quiet, please. Play.
It's blocked. Kara blocked by Ming-wan. And it's Ming-wan who puts China back in the lead. The young, prodigious goalball talent gives China a very important goal in this battle for Group B.
Quiet, please. Play.
Turkey once again with the dummy, but this time it's Kara dummying while Karakaya throws. Changui with a slightly slower ball.
Look out.
The variety of types of throw, very important in goalball, and you really do see all sorts. And Turkey level once again. This game changing hands all the time. And it's Tunçay Karakaya. And there really isn't much between these two sides. The lead changing hands every few minutes. And what can Ming-wan do here? It's blocked by Alkan. It's Karakaya. Karakaya blocked, and ball just goes over halfway. It's Calder's ball over. Here's Karakaya. Dummy once again from Kara. Here's Yang Ming-wan. Block from Karakaya. China happy to let that ball go over for China possession.
Quiet, please. Play.
Changui blocked by Alkan. It's Karakaya. Cross court. And it's parried by Yang Ming-wan.
Quiet, please. Play.
Changwai blocked by Alkan. Here's Kara, rotation throw. Xingwen to Mingyuan. Karakaya with the block. These players really have to be all-round players, capable of both attack and defense. Not like some team sports where you have different players good in different areas. Yeah, you really have to be an all-rounder. You see some of the best goal scorers in the world making incredible saves, and some centres scoring fantastic goals. Just over 5 minutes and still nothing between these two sides. Cross court blocked by Alkan. And it's called as ball over. So because the ball just went the other side of that line, it will be China who returns it. Turkey appealed for the long ball there, but instead it's going to be China. Called as ball over. It's caught from Mingyuan. Here's Karakaya. Now to Chang Wai. Starts well off court. And he goes cross court. Well, he really tried to get an acute angle on it there by starting off court. Tenkai Karakaya. Here's Mingyuan. Mingyuan blocked by Kara. It's back into Chinese possession. Mingyuan. Blocked by Kara. Kara with the rotation throw. But the ball bounced. The first bounce was off court. So the referee called it out. And so even if that ball had gone in, it wouldn't have counted. Ball has to land within the court. Just a little break in proceedings while the court is cleaned and wiped, and make sure there's nothing slippery on there.
Yapışık 300'den olun beyler. Mola hakları yok. Kaç dakika var hocam?
Goalball actually celebrating its 75th anniversary. It was formed in 1946. It's a chance to rehabilitate visually impaired veterans who came back from World War II. The sport's really grown and developed since then.
Quiet, please. Play.
Karakaya. Chang Wai. Kara with the block. It's a team effort there from China between 3 China players just gathering the ball. Here's Yang Mingyuan. Oh, it's called as high ball. Yang Mingyuan throwing from unusual side of court, moved across court. It was called as a high ball, so that meant the ball didn't bounce in the Chinese third of the court. That's known as a high ball. And now Yang Mingyuan will have to defend this penalty With the score at 3-all, you really don't want to be giving away penalties. It'll be interesting to see who takes it here. Whether it's Karakaya or Kara.
Quiet, please. Play. Timeout.
Oh, Turkey call the timeout. So much strategy involved in these penalties, and maybe they want a chance just to discuss what move they're going to make. We've seen in previous penalties Turkey doing a team maneuver, players dummying and making noise, and maybe Turkey have a plan up their sleeves. So it's Karakaya against Yang Mingwan. And it's a goal! A decisive, important goal from Tunkai Karakaya. And will China be left ruining that penalty, that high ball?
Substitution, China. Out number 5, 3. Out number 3. In number 4.
Will China making a change? Yang Mingwan, who just conceded that penalty, coming off. And Chen Lianglang in his 4th Paralympics, coming onto court. He scored 3 goals in his last match against Ukraine. China hoping he can provide some late goals here in the second half. Tunkai Karakaya, bronze medalist in 2012, part of that successful Turkey side. Well, there's a bit of confusion over the substitution there, but I think it's all been completed. And it's Chen Lianglang, freshly on court, to make the throw. Lianglang blocked by Karakaya. Karakaya with the cross-court throw. Blocked by Chen Lianglang. Blocked out by Karakaya.
Quiet, please. Play.
Here's Kara. It's blocked out by Kai Chang-wai. Here's Liang Liang. It's quite an unusual action from Yang Lang. It's not particularly smooth, but it creates a lot of bounce and causes problems for the opposition. It's Chang-wai. Goes for underarm. Rapid response. And Kara, and it's Kara who saves. Turkey going to take a timeout. Going to think about how to protect that lead. Well, Turkey have narrowly lost their opening few matches here. And now they have a very slender lead. They'll want to protect that with all costs, give themselves the best chance of getting to the knockout stages.
15 seconds.
Ethem timeout'umuz bitti. İyi bakın. Hata yapmayalım.
Here on the wing is Tenchai Karakaya. Couldn't stop the ball going over that line there, so it's called ball over. Now Turkey will have possession.
Quiet, please. Play.
It's Karakaya. It's the dummy from Kara. And Turkey extend their lead. The throw from Karakaya, the dummy from Kara, and a really good example of goalball strategy there. And although Yu Xingwen got a hand to it, the ball nestled in the back of the China net. Here's Liang Liang. It's a long ball. It's a penalty against China. And the ball bounced in the Turkish zone rather than in the neutral zone. And so Liang Liang, just minutes after he came onto court, will have to defend this penalty from Ebakir Kara. And now it's surely Turkey's. This match, it's twisted and turned. And Turkey now leading 6-3 with just 2 minutes to go. Here's Liang Liang. Blocked by the legs of Alkan. Here's Karakaya. Rotation throw. Gathered before it goes over halfway. So the Chinese player putting the ball out rather than risking a 10-second penalty. Here's Karakaya. Just wide of Liang Liang's post. China making a change here, hoping to make an impact late in the second half. And it's Hu Mingyao. His second Paralympics. What can he provide here? Sai Changwai coming off. Hu Mingyao normally plays on the wing. So China hoping he'll provide some goals. You can see him there taking position on the far side wing. Here's Karakaya. Turkey, as we enter this final 90 seconds, will be perfectly happy to run down the clock a bit. You might see them taking a bit more time with some of their throws, using the full 10 seconds that they're allowed. It's Kara. Here's Hu Mingyao. It's blocked by Karakaya. Rotation throw. And it's blocked by Liang Liang. Here's Liang Liang. Here's Alkan. Kara. Cross court blocked by Hu Mingyao. Just came onto the court.
Substitution, China.
China making another substitution.
4 in number 3.
Well, Chen Lingyang only just came onto court. And now he's off for Yang Mingwan. Well, Mingwan, such an attacking threat. And he'll have a lot to do here with a 3-goal deficit and only 40 seconds left.
White, please. Play.
Hu Mingyao.
Block out.
Blocked by Kara.
Quiet, please. Play.
Here's Kara. Block from Mingyao.
Blocked out.
White, please. Play.
Here's Mingwan. Block from Alkan.
Block out.
Quiet, please. Play.
Kara. Slower ball. Might be to eat up a bit of time there. Keeping the ball on court as long as he can. Now Turkey have possession, safe in the knowledge that they've got the points here.
Quiet, please. Play.
Karakai with the throw.
Official timeout, clarification.
Well, officials conferring here. Let's try and listen in. May have spotted an infringement.
Timeout, China.
Well, after all that, the end result is a China timeout. And at this stage, the result is Turkey's. But China just discussing how to approach these final 2 seconds. Well, Turkey desperate for a win. Having lost their first 2 games. They'll be delighted with both the scoreline and the way they've played today.
Quiet, please. Play.
Oh, the final throw, it's Yang Mingwan. It's off the post. And Turkey, who've had such a tough start to this competition, have their first win. And that will mean so much after 2 narrow defeats. And China still have plenty to play for. But they'll perhaps be disappointed with some of the penalties they gave away today. Brilliant performance from Turkey. Strong offensive play from Karakaya and from Kara on their respective wings. And Turkey can now approach the final few games with real confidence and real optimism. It's a really interesting game. Very low scoring at first, but second half sprung into life. And Group B continues to surprise us. And it's certainly not a group that anyone can call at this stage. Final score here at the Makuhari Messe. Turkey 6, China 3. let's take a look at some of the vital statistics from that match. 6-3 Turkey win, but look at those penalties. 4 penalties given away by China. They'll be wondering about that discipline as they perhaps think ahead to the knockout stages. In low-scoring games like these, penalties can be so important. And that's exactly how it played out today. Well, let's take a look at the Group B standings. It's a very finely balanced group. 4 countries on 3 points. And Turkey now go into 3rd position after their victory today. Remember, 4 teams qualify from that group of 5, so still lots for everyone to play for. Some very hard-fought encounters ahead. Well, Group B really has been a group that's been full of twists and turns, all manner of surprises. And we had another one today. Turkey had so much to play for, losing their first 2 games very narrowly. But they've got a narrow victory today that will give them a bit of inspiration and a bit of motivation going into these final group games. China perhaps ruined their discipline, a few too many penalties. And it's that made the difference between those 2 sides. Thank you very much for joining us. Brilliant day of goalball action. And it's Turkey 6, China 3.